Some breaking news to bring you about the BBC. The BBC chairman has announced that both the Director General, Tim Davie, and the news CEO, Deborah Turness, are to resign. Let's bring you more on that story. Our culture reporter, Noor Nanji, is with me here. So tell us about the background to this and about the resignation statements.
Yeah, that's right. Really significant news that's just come to us in the last few minutes. So both the BBC's Director General, Tim Davie, but also Deborah Turness, who is the CEO of News, both resigning. We've just had that, as I say, in the last few minutes. Now, in a statement, the BBC chairman, Samir Shah, said this is a sad day for the BBC. He said Tim has been an outstanding Director General for the last 5 years. He has propelled the BBC forward with determination, single-mindedness and foresight. He also said that he has the full support of me and the board throughout. But he said that he understands the continued pressure on him, both personally and professionally, has led him to take this decision today. He said the whole board respects that decision and the reasons for it. Now, we've also had statements from Tim Davie and from Deborah Turness as well. This afternoon, Tim Davie sent the following note to staff. He said, "I wanted to let you know that I've decided to leave the BBC." He's been here for 20 years. He said this is entirely my decision and that he remains very thankful to the chair and to the board for their unswerving support throughout his tenure, including in the last few days. Now, he also said that he is working on exact timings with the board so that there is an orderly transition to his successor. And from Deborah Turness as well, there was a statement this evening as well. She says that the ongoing controversy around the Panorama on President Donald Trump, has reached a stage where it is causing damage to the BBC, which is an institution that she says she loves. And she says that as CEO of BBC News, the buck stops with me. And so therefore she has taken this difficult decision to offer her resignation. And she too says she'll be working on an orderly transition.
So just remind us, one of the issues that's come up recently was the documentary, a Panorama documentary, which was alleged to have misrepresented Trump's speech with an edit. Tell us about that, and can we assume that this was the main reason that these two directors or these two senior people at the BBC are leaving?
Well, I think that is the issue that's definitely been dominating the front pages for the past couple of days, ever since on Tuesday the Telegraph published these details of a leaked internal BBC memo which suggested that the programme had been edited two parts of Donald Trump's speech together, and so that he appeared to explicitly encourage the Capitol Hill riots of January 2021. So that has, of course, been in the limelight. There's been a lot of press on it all weekend. It's been front page of the newspapers as well. But I think it's fair to say there's been a number of issues that may have led up to this point. You'll remember in the summer, for example, there was that row over the BBC's Glastonbury coverage and its decision to live stream that controversial set by Bob Vylan. There's also been the question marks over the Gaza documentary that it aired as well, and that Ofcom found to have seriously breached the broadcasting rules. And then, of course, you do have this Panorama row that has shown no signs of going away. And it could be that that has been the straw that broke the camel's back.
And there was criticism from the White House as well on that, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the Telegraph yesterday reported that the White House has also commented on it and called the BBC's coverage of it dishonest. And so you can see that this is a story that seemed to be building momentum. And we are aware that the BBC's chair, Samir Shah, is due to report back on all of this to a parliamentary select committee tomorrow. And so that was the moment we were waiting for, to hear how they were planning to respond to all of this and what they would say about it. But obviously the decision seems to have now come on Sunday night for both Tim Davie and Deborah Turness to resign.
And in terms of the atmosphere for the BBC, how difficult is it to manage something like this? And do we know, what people will replace them?
I mean, this is a huge moment in the history of the organisation. There's no doubt about that. Two really significant names who've been there for some time now stepping back. And I think, this will be a victory for some who have perhaps wanted this moment to come. But I think it's clearly a very significant decision and a moment in how this organisation is run, particularly coming up to charter renewal.
Noor Nanji, thank you very much indeed. I'm just going to recap for viewers who might be joining us now the message from Tim Davie, the Director General. It's quite long, but I will read it for you. Dear all, he says, I wanted to let you know that I have decided to leave the BBC after 20 years. This is entirely my decision, and I remain very thankful to the Chair and Board for their unswerving and unanimous support throughout my entire tenure, including during recent days. He goes on, I'm working through exact timings with the board to allow for an orderly transition to a successor over the coming months. I've been reflecting on the very intense personal and professional demands of managing this role over many years in these febrile times, combined with the fact that I want to give a successor time to help shape the charter plans they will be delivering. In these increasingly polarised times, the BBC is of unique value and speaks to the very best of us. It helps make the UK a special place, overwhelmingly kind, tolerant and curious. Like all public institutions, organisations, the BBC is not perfect, he goes on, and we must always be open, transparent and accountable. While not being the only reason, the current debate around BBC News has understandably contributed to my decision. He goes on, overall the BBC is delivering well, but there have been some mistakes made, and as Director General I have to take ultimate responsibility. Our organisation is a critical ingredient of a healthy society as well as a thriving creative sector. We should champion it, not weaponise it. Despite a hugely competitive market, I am proud that the BBC remains the most trusted news brand globally. We've continued to ensure that it is used by almost everyone in the UK, as well as hundreds of millions of people globally. Despite the inevitable issues and challenges, our journalism and quality content continues to be admired as a gold standard. Our transition to a digital organisation has been deeply impressive, and our thriving commercial businesses are admired globally. Also, our work together on ensuring that we have the right culture has been important and motivating. I could not be more impressed by what you're achieving. This is a message to staff, remember. You'll ask, why now? Why this moment? I'm BBC through and through, he says, having spent the last 20 years of my life working for this organisation as Director of Marketing, Communications and Audiences, Director of Audio and Music, Acting Director General and Chief Executive of BBC Studios. And he goes on then to thank people in the office for having been, and he talks about how proud he was to be the BBC DG over 5 years. And he says, I'll always be a passionate cheerleader for a civilised society, a strong BBC and a thriving UK.